first time that PPMA has come this far north to hold our annual conference. We took a really brave decision this year to add a pre-conference event, and the theme of that was tomorrow's talent. PPMA is really proud of the work we do around our own talent development offering, but public sector generally tends to find a challenge in recruiting much younger people. A way to deal with that is actually to go directly to young people in their place of study, and that's what we did.
Tomorrow's Talent is a Manpower Group initiative to help connect young people and employers earlier than they're currently engaging. And we think that early engagement is important for three reasons. It gives us the opportunity for employers to learn from young people. They need to adapt their behaviour, they need to adapt the way they engage youngsters. It gives youngsters the chance to practice, a safe space to learn about the world of work and interviewing. And thirdly and critically, it gives us the chance to do some myth busting. What youngsters think about employers and what employers think about young people. People change their minds when they go through the Tomorrow's Talent Day.
We can expect a number of things from day one this year. We're repeating some of the same main stage themes that we had last year, and that's very much to see what difference and impact we have made as an organisation on our community. But we also wanted to really think and reflect on the role that HR and ED practitioners play, not just on the rest of the organisation, but on the citizens who use our services. One of the key themes coming out of 2017 is that public service is about public good. We all know that, but it's always worth reflecting on what is the consequence of good public services not being there. Our keynote speaker, Jasvinda Sangera, has dedicated her life to supporting the victims of honour-based crime. As HR and ED practitioners, we have a huge role to play in educating our workforces so that we can understand and help people who find themselves in this extraordinarily difficult circumstance. So, we're taking a risk, but we're really excited to hear what Jasvinda has to say to us.
The key messages of my session was predominantly for this public sector audience who are at the heart of preventing honour abuse and forced marriages are educate yourself about this. We have civil, criminal law that local authorities need to know about in order to ensure that people are safeguarding children and young people at risk of child and forced marriages. So my key message are that this is happening in Britain. No, I was born in England, this happened to me and my 7 sisters. I escaped, I'm disowned, I'm a campaigner. And constantly on my travels, I'm having to fight against people's attitudes whereby they think somehow this is part of your culture. It's not. Cultural acceptance does not mean accepting the unacceptable. Families use religion, tradition and culture to oppress and abuse our victim. What the public sector need to recognise is this is a safeguarding issue. This is a child and public protection issue. So if there's one message I'd like to send out is that message, and that you're not on your own in this. There is guidelines, there is support with the helpline, there's a raft in your toolbox to help you get this right. The public sector is at the heart of prevention. They're the ones who are going to be involved in safeguarding, especially children, young people and vulnerable adults. In 2007, we had the Forced Marriage Act that placed a duty on the public sector with statutory guidelines, informing them that they are now part of implementing the statutory guidance to prevent child marriages and forced marriages in this country. So, in my view, the public sector have got to ensure that their staff is educated about this so that they are aware of what to do, what not to do and what is available. So the public sector have now a duty placed on them, and whilst this issue increases, it's not an excuse to say I didn't know about this. Ignorance is not going to be good enough.
And of course we have some other really interesting sessions. The one that's worth reflecting on particularly is the health and social care integration session. So publicity on that is always huge. It's a really, really tough set of headlines around that. And there's been a lot more money going into the sector, and we need to take a look at has that added value to the work that we do.
So I think the key messages, and there are a number of those, one of them would be actually that it's really not easy. We've been at this for 20 years. There are some catalysts that are starting to come into the system now, so some of the additional funding, the requirements from government around the STPs. The big challenges though are about leadership. So how do we lead across the system? How do we lead together across the system where we've got lots of different employers, lots of different workers, very different cultures, and how do we find some common ground linked really to deliverables for patients, for service users that's going to make a difference. So system leadership and culture are the biggies, I think, for me.
Sponsoring the PPMA is so significant and important for the LGA. We've been an active partner for well over 20 years, and we find coming to these conferences really useful. Yes, we talk to councils on a daily basis, but to get everybody in one space at one time, talking about the key issues of the day, is so important for us.
The experience of the conference has been really well received by ourselves and by the delegates that have attended. We've been involved with the PPMA with previous exhibitions down in Bristol. This is the first time they've been sort of up north in my neck of the woods, so it's great to have the exposure up this way and for me to mix with a real good blend of delegates. So yeah, it's been fantastic.
Coming to the PPMA annual event has been a great experience for us. Being sponsors is just an opportunity for us to put something back into the relationships we have with people in the public sector and understand what the executives are looking for in terms of future of work.
The best thing about the sponsorship and working with the PPMA is the collaboration and the partnership is a real key word. CMI is all about looking for new ways of partnering and new ways of supporting like-minded organisations, and the PPMA certainly this year is all about collaboration, and that's what we want to get involved in.
Well, this is my first time at a PPMA conference, and I have to say I was really surprised by the welcome from everybody and the buzz around the place as well. So sometimes you think these are going to be quite stuffy events, but it was really lovely and informal, and the speakers were actually all fantastic, and it gave us an opportunity to hear people that we wouldn't necessarily maybe have over in Northern Ireland and the experiences that they will have been through as well. So it's been really worthwhile.
I've really enjoyed the PPMA conference this year. There's been a number of really great speakers talking about some really big and evolving issues and been able to involve us in the thinking about those. But beyond that as well, it's also opened up sort of a bit of a time to think and a time to discuss with like and otherwise minded individuals about some of these topics, about some shared issues, which is something really that I think the PPMA conference always does deliver. So just between those two items, I think it's been absolutely fantastic.